Hi, this is the Lourdes and Chris show. This brilliant, breathtaking, amazing, everything, right? So intelligent, so smart, so wise, so amazing. Like, is my wife Lourdes. And I'm more excited than a rainbow after rain.
Well, okay, that's exciting.
I'm saying
I
that's
like I
exciting.
get excited when I see a
I'm
rainbow.
all double rainbow after this rain because of what we got going on today.
Yes. And this is my amazing, extraordinary, loving, caring, crazy fun husband, Chris.
Crazy fun.
Crazy fun.
That's actually on my license plate. Crazy fun. Whenever they pull me over, they're just like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Yes," and we party. That's how it goes. So, before we get into why I'm so crazy excited, I did want to take a moment to thank Dr. Newsom and our friends over at drnewsom.com.
Yep.
Many of you have already signed up for drnewsom.com. If you haven't done so, you should jump on over there, take a look at his products, sign up for his mailing list.
Yes.
And right now, if you use promo code Lourdes and Chris, you get 50% off of all of the products through your order that you do through drnewsom.com.
Yes, and his products are extraordinarily amazing. We use it all the time. We take it every day. It's supplements that actually help build the gut, get things moving. We're talking like, well, as you guys saw.
Yeah, right. So it's and you saw the episode with him that we had on recently with him. Yes. So you know he's just an amazing guy.
Extraordinary man.
Yeah. So happy to be partnered with him. We also wanted to thank those of you that have gone down to the LourdesandChrisShow.com and actually donated, especially you monthly donators. You know who you are. We've reached out to you personally to thank you for what you've done for us. We love you for it. You're helping us with this ongoing mission of making the world a better place, health-wise, in mind, body, and spirit. So if you haven't gone on to the LourdesandChrisShow.com, you really ought to do that too. Just jump on over there. Now, watch this episode, and then when we're done, go ahead and go on to.
Because there are other episodes there as well.
Yes.
So you can find any of them that you might have missed. All the information is so like every episode is information and education and stuff that you're going to really enjoy for yourself and the loved ones. And you might watch one and go, "Oh my gosh, Billy needed to hear this," and send it to Billy. You know what I mean? Like that.
Good old Billy. Yes. He needs to hear this. So no, and today's no exception. The reason why I was more excited than a double rainbow after a rainstorm was because we've got Dr. Christina Rahm on today's show.
Yes, she is awesome.
And there's a reason why we've been trying to get this lady on the show for a bit now, because and it's not anybody's fault. She's just super duper busy because she's got a lot going on. She's got a lot on her plate, but she's so smart and so informative, and really your soul twin, I think.
I know, it's so crazy. First of all, I've always loved science,
sure,
but never got into it. Right.
Yep.
I've always liked to figure out how to do things. Well, she's a scientist
that's figured out how to do things.
Like, yes, to get things to just like really change your life in such a positive, amazing way that you can actually achieve the things you want to achieve because you're feeling so good. But wait till you hear this interview. She's so good.
Yeah, it's we didn't want it to end.
No.
In fact, I had to be the clock keeper in this episode. You'll see I'm the one who's always like, "Guys, come on."
Oh my gosh, I could have talked to her for hours on end.
Yeah, seriously, what an interesting gal. Her story is interesting. You'll see right now when you watch it.
Extraordinary.
Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Christina Rahm.
Hello, it's so good to see you.
It's good to finally see you. Yeah. We communicate so often through like social media and through
emails and such. Right. Yeah.
You look great, by the way.
WhatsApp. Yeah.
And WhatsApp.
It's awesome to see you all. And Clay put on one of Lourdes' shows last night, so I got to see her. So it's great to hear about you guys, know you guys, and see all the things that you guys are doing, not just in your past, but what you're doing now. I really love it. I do.
Thank you.
We're super excited to have you on because you're easily one of the most fascinating people we've had on for a hot minute, because just your story, like when we heard about what in fact, I'm not going to kind of go too deep into it because I'm going to let you take it on. But we like to kind of the first segment, just let people introduce themselves, what they're about, and where they come from. So I say let's know more about Dr. Christina Rahm.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. There's different things about me, but I was raised in a very small town and ended up just really doing different things with my life. My education has been everything from a master's of science to different doctorate degrees, honorary degrees, all over the world, because I've traveled to 85 countries. But I really would say that my journey began as an adult, really when I got Lyme disease, and then I got cancer while I was pregnant, and then have dealt with it really most of my life. I'm thankful to be here, to be honest, because having having cancer during a pregnancy. It metastasized throughout my body, and I've dealt with issues with my children too because of that. And through that, I really have dug into science and healthcare and medicine. I probably wouldn't have if that wouldn't have happened to me. But because of that, I was actually getting my first doctorate degree when I started really struggling with cancer, and lost a child, and then I was scared I was gonna die. So I really threw myself into natural ways to cure myself or to help myself. And then I also started working with pharmaceutical companies. So I've been with really some of the top pharmaceutical companies in the world: Pfizer, J&J, Janssen, Bristol Meyers Squibb, Biogen, Alexion. And I did that because I really wanted to do something to help people. But through that, I kept going back to, I chose natural things. I did do some, I did choose some traditional treatments, but I really hung my hat on trying to help myself get better through natural ways by studying. And so I really threw myself then again into nanobiotechnology, bioscience engineering, and nutrition. And if you said to me, well, isn't that how the nuclear bomb was made? Isn't that how GMOs are made? Isn't that how vaccines are made? My answer is yes. But my thought process was, if I'm going to help people throughout the world get rid of these things that are in their bodies or that they've been exposed to, I've got to understand every part of that world so that I can create natural solutions. And I would say those natural solutions are for my family and friends more than anything, but the ability to be able to help people in 60, 70 countries is also amazing, because people deserve to know the truth, and they deserve to know that natural things can help them in so many ways. And it doesn't have to be just one path. There's multiple paths you can take in life when it comes to health.
I love that. And it seems to be a common theme. Lourdes is included with this, that everybody that's on the show, all these doctors that we've had on the show, all these doctors that are coming to natural, have a similar background as yourself. They had a health opportunity, something showed up in their life,
or a loved one's,
or a loved one's life, and it was like, I'm turning this around. And then most of them go to God, and
they get guided,
right? to this. And that's the same thing with Lourdes. That's what happened with Lourdes and myself. So it's interesting to again and again and again see the theme that people come to the natural when they realize there's something wrong. And I think that's what's happened with you as well.
Yeah. And I was going to say too, so because you've worked for so many major companies, pharmaceutical companies and stuff, and you've even created, I believe, even things that are patent and stuff. Am I correct on?
Yeah, I have patents that I submitted 3, and I think one of them got approved. And when you say to me, what do you mean you think one of them? Well, I really don't follow the patents that I produced. Like, I produced 14 more since then that were provisional, and then 10 full patents. They do let me know once they're finally through, but it can take a patent. The first time I filed these new ones were 2015. And I was just alerted like 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, I can't remember the exact date, that they were finally approved. And what I mean by that is they publish them and then they're open for debate. And so I had multiple companies and multiple people try to fight my patents, saying that I got my technology from them or that they were not valid, lots of different things, because, you have competitors out there and people that don't want you to succeed in life, unfortunately. But they passed without me even hiring an attorney. The patents were, and there was 168 claims. The claims were around reversal of aging of the cells, the skin, the hair, the nails. Another like batch of claims were around tumor suppression associated with cancer, and then another batch of them were around getting rid of nuclear waste, viruses, parasites, fungus, and bacteria in the environment as well as in people. So when I filed those, I did an environmental component and I did a human and animal health component so that I could be able to touch all those different areas. And so 168 of those claims were approved.
Wow, that is impressive. So now, do you have products that have those things that you patent?
Well, since I did that in 2015, I went back to Harvard and Cornell, and I changed them. So the new patents I filed are better. And because I really did not like the patents I filed in 2015, I thought, and probably that's why I didn't check up on them, because I thought there's no way these are going to be approved. I need to do a better job. And I even told Clayton at the time, I don't like what I filed. I could have done so much of a better, job. It would be like, Lourdes, you did a show and you didn't like it. And you're like, retake. I was like, I don't want to do this. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm not happy with these. So I redid them. For example, I wanted to make with the zeolite, with Clino, I wanted to make it into a silica to help heal at the same time, which I did not put in the original patents to make the silica. And since then, I've done that. So, of course, you have clean slate. So there's components of it, but I made a lot of changes and filed 10 more. So all of the formulas that I did at Root, for example, is a company that, I'm the formulator. I put parts of that in there, but I've made them better since then. It's kind of like an artist again, like doing a painting and then saying, I need to make this painting better. It's not finished yet, right? And so those patents will hopefully be approved at some point this year or next year. And then they'll be up for debate again. So once you pass that debate, which again can take 5, 6, 7 years, then they're yours. And so and they're not even mine. I feel like they're God's, and He's allowed me to be a scientist to help people. And I really do feel that way. So whatever happens, to me, that's what He wants to happen. I was shocked when 168 claims got approved from the patent in 2015.
Well, I mean,
awesome.
so
that's
divine,
impressive.
divine intervention and all.
And you said that's on clean slate, which, by the way, we take faithfully. Love it. I can't get over the immense of what it does, because in fact it also helped my daughter, who had a brain injury in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
So like all her white matter was gone.
Yeah.
We had to get her back, with a lot of fish oil and a lot of arguments, fights with doctors, but got her here. She's fine. But she always had because of the injury, like her memory was just terrible. And when it came to trying to get something done, it takes her a lot. But 2 days I'm being on this. I'm in the middle of editing. She's like, Mom. And I'm like, what? She's like, for the first time, she goes, I did, because she had to push a button for the letter that if she had to push B, she had to hit 2 twice. Those were always hard for her.
Yeah.
She did it on the first try smoothly and this took since 2014. For the first time, she did it on the first try without a thought. And it was just 2 days on this. So whatever it was doing, it did it.
Yeah.
Well, we were like,
it makes me so happy because I've watched videos actually with your daughter. And so that makes me so happy because when I met Clayton, I was in a meeting with the Alumni Association for the NBA and the NFL. And I was with a guy named John Sally, and John stopped the meeting and said, I'm going to stop the meeting. He goes, you're Michael Jordan. And I go, what? He goes,
I love that.
Michael Jordan would have been nothing. And this is what he told me, which was really interesting, without a team. And you need a team because we need a scientist that can help develop a product so that all these athletes that are injured can heal and they can get better. And we want something naturally. Can you do that? I said, yes, but at the time I was a CEO of a healthcare company. I said, I just don't have time. And he kept pushing Clayton on me till finally I got on the phone. And that was the purpose, was really to help the body heal. That's what John wanted, and to help so they wouldn't have to go into like these surgeries on their ankles, their knees, their arms. And so I'm not shocked when you tell me that about your daughter. We've had a lot of people that have children that haven't talked for a long time. And, I can't claim to cure anything. I can't claim to be the author or inventor of curing cancer or aging, but I can say that these formulas are helping naturally people heal. And I, again, give that knowledge or that accolade, not to me, but to something much higher than me. And I'm very thankful for that. So I'm so happy to hear that about your daughter.
It's amazing. In fact, there's a few people who have reached out, because I get reached out a lot from people around the world who are dealing with, whether it's cancer, diabetes, Alzheimer's, dementia, you name it. And in fact, there was one who reached out because she had gotten the shot
Yeah.
And both her and her husband. And since then, they've had a lot of issues.
Yeah.
And she's been going and getting MRIs and all these scans done because she just can't get rid of this headache. And it's just, she's had really bad. Anyway, she finally got hers yesterday. And then, so she's like, I got it. I'm like, okay, put 2 under your tongue. And I'm telling her what to do, right? And then take the restore. So she's doing the whole thing.
Yeah.
Then I'd say about 30 minutes later, she's like, oh my God, I don't have a headache. Like her headache went away. Because I wanted to, and you drink, she goes, oh, I drink like a gallon of water a day. I'm like, oh, okay, then you're good.
Yeah.
But it was just like, even with the stuff she was doing.
But it was a chronic headache that was like,
right, it would never go away.
Headache. I mean,
it wouldn't go away since the shots. So, but it was interesting because it's not like she didn't drink water. She did all those things. But when she implemented Zero In and the clean slate, all of it, within 30 minutes, I get this message. I'm like, what? I'm like, this is so awesome. So she's like, the throbbing stopped. Like it just stopped.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's good. So it's obviously doing something, but it was amazing how some people, it just kicks in really quick.
It does. Some people, it takes a while because it depends on what kind of heavy metal you have in your body because it's attaching and helping break it up. And I explain it like, because there's lots of things that detox or eradicate things out, but some of them are not healthy for you, which was my goal, was to give something that was healthy. And I tell people, it's like if you're redoing your bedroom, right? If you take out the bed without taking the bed apart, you break the door down, right? Of the bedroom. So a lot of the products out there, they're detoxing things out of the body, but they're not ripping them apart first so that they're no longer a heavy metal or toxin or a viral particle or bacteria, right? So my goal was to go in to communicate, to help rip things apart. So when they leave the body, you're not harming the body. And so that you're able to communicate with the cells through the technology, which is natural. You know, I didn't use anything synthetic in the product.
Oh, that
I love that.
is awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, that makes sense. So we're going to take a break right here and come right
So yeah,
back.
we are going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Just to pick up what we're talking about. I love the idea that, I mean, you nailed it when you said that if you try to remove the bed without taking it apart first, what does it do? It destroys on the way out. So
and with that thought, really because helps. Honestly, I've had many people say, well, I take Zeolite. Well, I take this. And it's like, yeah, but this is so much better, and you'll see why.
And we'll get into that right when we come back. We'll be right back.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Super Earth Energy.
Super Earth Energy.
For nearly 2 decades, Dr. Newsom was developing this formula.
This one.
2 decades of his life. Nearly 2 decades.
I mean, that's really dedication to giving you the best quality of a supplement that's going to give you not only energy, I mean, it improves adrenal and, you know.
Well, so it improves your adrenal and muscle fatigue. Yep. It actually helps with chronic fatigue syndrome, a compromised immune system, sleep deficit, brain fog.
Which many are experiencing, low sexual desire. I mean, this 2 decades, there's a reason. He put a great formula together. He formulated, and it's just amazing. Like, we love it.
Yeah. So here's the thing. It's like we were just telling our daughter the other day. It's not like it gives you like a caffeine jittery feeling. It's more like you're just awake.
Yeah, like, you know, when you were a kid and you didn't feel, kids they seem to not get tired. So it's kind of that. You don't go, oh, I feel like all this caffeine. It's none of that, because I personally can't do caffeine. It causes me nausea, migraines. I just can't do caffeine. But I take this and I just don't feel tired. Like, I can spend a whole day really getting a lot of things done and not feel exhausted, or I have to take a nap, or I still do my meditation stuff, but oh my gosh, amazing.
It's because it's giving you energy at a cellular level. Now, all you have to do to get this product is go to www.drnewsom.com and look for Super Earth Energy. We've got it ourselves, but we should do a little, like, still show them what that bottle looks like. And there it is, Super Earth Energy. That's right. Go to drnewsom.com.
Yes. drnewsom.com. In fact, right here, we see the link.
Oh, see, now I got to put it there. I was going to put it there now, but now it's got to be there.
Or he can still put it here, but definitely here.
It's going to be 2 places now.
Super Earth Energy. And we're back.
We're back.
We're back.
Every time we come back from a break, we're just not sure which one of us is going to say we're back.
Sometimes we say it at the same time.
I just softballed it to her. She can have it this time. Maybe I'll grab it next time. I don't know.
Maybe if I don't snatch it first.
But we'll see. So like we were talking before about you had used the analogy of tearing apart something before you take it out of the body, and I think that makes a lot of sense just on a real basic level. But we were
talking, even on break. There's things like because I have had people reach out and say, well, I take zeolite, and they have all these different products out there that are similar, but what's the difference between, because they're not everything is made alike. So what's the difference?
There's hundreds of zeolites, and some of them are arsenic, for example, because it comes from orthosilic acid, and then there's zeolites, and Clino is the type that I used, which it's really hard to find a pure form. And so we found one, I was able to source one that was about 97% pure. Because the problem with some of the zeolites is they have heavy metals in them, right? In my process, I detox even vitamins and zeolites, whatever I'm using. I'll give you one more example. Like seeds and roots also have lectin in it, which can be negative, right? So one of the processes that I do in the manufacturing world is to detox the things out and to make sure before I even do the formula that they're clean, right? Like right now I'm working on a coffee formula where I'm detoxing the beans because coffee actually has mold in it, and bacteria and stuff. So that's one of the processes I use. And then I was able to pull out the silicon dioxide. And like, if you read about silicon dioxide, it says it can be, again, harmful, right? Because there can be things in it. So again, but what I did is I took out the pure form in a natural form so that it could help the body heal while it's ripping it apart. So first it's ripping it apart and then it's helping heal. Like silica, you need silica, right? To survive and to be healthy and to look good and everything else. And like you may know, Lourdes, that people do different forms of filler or Botox, the silica in it. But the problem is that silica is synthetic, right? I used a natural form to help it heal. And then I added catalyst with vitamins and minerals so that it could communicate and deliver throughout the body. And so I really don't know. I don't think there's another formula like mine at all, because one of the benefits I've had is working and training and learning from some of the top scientists in the world in the pharmaceutical industry. I was able to see the good and the bad, right? Like when we develop vaccines, for example, you're really giving someone a virus and you're using certain carriers, right? If you ask me, is there a way to use carriers that are natural? Yes. And zeolites or Clino are one of those carriers that really can help make the body healthier if you make it the right way. So I really don't think there's other formulas out there that had scientists that had the knowledge to do it in this format. That's my personal opinion.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I got to say, because prior to this, my daughter had been taking, I can't remember the name of the company and I won't say anyway, it's probably not good, but it was also zeolite. Yeah. And she's been taking it for months.
Sure.
And then when I got introduced to Root Brands, it was interesting because the night before I had just did a hard prayer to God, because I was like, okay, I'm constantly being contacted by so many people dealing with so many health issues. And, I give them a regimen of this whole juicing and this whole, what I did. I said, but there's got to be something else out there that can just boost all that right up to the next level. And I even told myself, I know there's got to be a way to help people that have taken the shot, that have gotten severe injuries. And I keep getting told, no, there's no, once it's in, it's damaged. You can't undo that. Right. And I'm the type of person where I don't believe that. I don't believe that there's a man on this planet that can create something that God doesn't already have something prepared to fix that. Yep. No way. You're not any more powerful than God. So after that prayer, the very next day, I got reached out by a friend who I hadn't talked to in years. And he introduced me to Shanna and Jill. And he said, you got to hear. And I'm going, okay, hold on a second. I just did this prayer. This person's, I got to check it out. Blown away when I was introduced to the information. Got the stuff immediately. I'm like, I got to try it out because I want to be able to share this with others. And to see that my daughter was on another zeolite for months and still couldn't figure out how to do that, hit 2 twice to get B, to do it in 2 days on being on clean slate screams a lot. I mean, it just says everything, the difference in those.
It's my mission. I feel like my passion, to help people. You know, I've been exposed to a lot of good and bad in my life, to be honest. Because I've been to 85 countries and because I've met with some of the top, you know, prime ministers, presidents, different things, I've seen it a lot. And so, and I think I was shown those things so that I could help provide solutions. I can tell you that, you know, I was asked to work in Wuhan, and I did not take that position because I knew it was with retroviruses, which retroviruses are when you create a virus that's then injected or through an infusion will go in so that the thought process is you're giving someone a virus so that they can get rid of another virus, right? Or so that they won't. But the problem is in the middle of that, the virus you're giving them could be worse than the virus they would have gotten. And that's why this whole time I kept saying, guys, this has got to be natural immunity, because the other problem is it's going to lower your immune system if you're continuously giving shots. And, you know, I come from a world where half of my friends, half of my family were vaccinated, half weren't. In my heart, I just wanted a solution for everyone that we could really help. And I did anticipate, not the exact timing, but understanding what was probably going to happen. Someone sat me down and told me years ago, about 20 years ago, this was going to happen. And even when I worked in the industry, the belief process, it was, you know, the next war is going to be basically biological. And so I knew that we had ticks and fleas that had anthrax. I knew that we had Lyme disease that were put. So I knew all that stuff. So I really wanted solutions. And mitochondrial shield, which is a new one, I needed a solution for people that had DNA mutations or chromosomal integrity issues that cause damage in the body. And that was why I made that particular product. I know we're not talking about it, but for me, I had this whole thing lined out of how do we preserve the integrity of the DNA for people? How do we regenerate? Because one of the things I've worked on is stem cells throughout my career. So I'm very interested in regenerating with the brain, with the spine, and with other parts of the body. And so that's continuously on my mind when I'm creating the products. But I do think there's hope for people that have gotten the shot and have side effects, or for people that have gotten the virus that have long COVID, that we need to help by supporting their body with these natural things that really help them.
Oh, I totally agree. Well, actually, we're waiting on the new one. We're just
the mitochondria.
Yeah. And we got pretty much everything but that one. I mean, we got even Restore, which I love. In fact, because we came from we just had flown back from Illinois, and we got stuck twice sitting in the plane in the heat with the air not working, oddly enough, twice. And we sat there for 30 minutes and we were just sweating. And so, you know, and of course we had some people that we didn't have to wear masks, but some people chose to.
Yeah.
But we knew that there was had to be a lot of shedding going on. And I'm just like, great, our pores are all open, their pores are all open. We're just exchanging left and right. This is going to be really bad.
Yeah.
And it sure was. Like a couple of days after, we landed like a brick. But what was interesting is I started just pumping in the clean slate. Instead of doing, you know, the 3 or 5 drops, I'm like 10 drops, you know, doing it 3 times a day.
That's what I do, Lourdes. I will because I'm like you, I've been through things, right? I'm not scared to drink 1/3 to half of the bottle to get better. I'm not scared at all. And I do understand there's so many mutations going around right now that you're being exposed, especially on these planes. And so drinking more than 2 or 3 drops is definitely needed in those situations.
Yeah. But it helped. It really, it helped just pass right through it. And in fact, it was interesting because my grandson, who's 1, got sick, and he never gets sick. He's never been vaccinated. This boy is just
I can't believe you have a grandson.
She delivered him.
I delivered him at home. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I have
last year
to meet you in person.
It's it was interesting because it was I got a clear message that he needed to be born at home because everything was going on in the hospitals. And so I'm like, all right, let's do it. And it was interesting because it seems like when I'm told to do something, it just works. It goes in line. Like my daughter was like, hey, I'd like for you to deliver my baby. It was just she brought it up when I was already told, and I'm like, okay, it just worked out. And but I gotta tell you, it was just like he is never as much as caught a cold. But after us being exposed to the level that we were for that length of time, like a total of an hour, he got sick. And I gave him the clean slate.
Yeah.
I put it in his little sweet potatoes. He loves sweet potatoes. And by the first day he was miserable. Second day he was miserable, but he got better. Third day he was new.
Yeah.
It's like knocked it right out.
Back to being a boy.
Back to being
knocking down everything and seeing what he can climb on.
But it really it was, you know, and we gave him his Epsom salt baths every night, which he loves. He loves baths. So that made it really easy. But by giving him the clean slate, it's just like it seemed like it's sped up the healing process.
The process he's already going to go through, right?
Yeah. That's why I've done so many interviews where people will ask me, they'll talk to me about different things and the DNA mutations that are occurring and the shedding, and I get very upset, you guys, when someone says there's no way to fix that or there's no way to change that. And so instead I explain it scientifically, but my first heart reaction is, yes, you can't say there's no way to help with this or there's no way to fix it. And that's when I really started working very hard again on a formulation. Give Me Back My Youth and Mitochondria Shield Defense are made because of the different things that have happened. And I'm like you, Lourdes, I hear certain things. I don't say that because some people think I like I did this talk one time on stage at a pharmaceutical convention, and they asked me a question, and I wanted to say, well, because I had a dream about it, and then I thought, okay, I can't say that. So instead I talked about nanotechnology.
Well,
that's so true.
No, it's right. It's right.
It is true, because everybody, it's like it's hard to, it's like, but I did, but I can't tell them that because they think I'm crazy.
Yeah. And it's been hard, even in pharmaceutical, and as in my career, I've had people try to really hurt me, and try to destroy really what I've done. And even in that world, make fun of me because of my personal beliefs that I'm not God, right? And that there is something much higher, there is a God. And I've been in many situations where other doctors and scientists have made fun of me for that because they feel like they have the solutions. And here's how I feel. I feel like I have solutions because there's something much greater than me that has helped me have those. The education, the working, I stayed in school for about 21 years, really off and on, so that I would be able to have solutions like these. But without that guidance that I get, that education would have done nothing. It would just have made me a standard scientist, probably, that still worked at pharmaceutical, and nothing against the pharmaceutical industry at all. They've saved a lot of people's lives. But for me, there was something much greater in the purpose, and that was to create natural things instead of synthetic things to really help people.
Oh,
no, for sure.
That was insane. We're gonna go on a break.
She knows it's a formula. We do have to take a quick break, and we will be right back. And then I kind of want to talk about your pharmaceutical background, and we get into that a little bit.
Yeah, in fact, I want to touch upon because right now I've had people, especially on Facebook.
Yeah,
I have a lot of people that are sharing their loved one having dementia and Alzheimer's, and seeing that there's so much metals in our bodies that can cause these issues, and even prescription drugs that I've looked up and go, wait, those are the exact same symptoms that would describe dementia. So and people are taking those. So I'm real clear that there is a way to reverse things like that. And I would love to definitely go into that as well.
So we'll do that when we come back from the break. We'll be right back. Super Digest.
Super Digest, one of the strongest digestive formulas on the market.
That's, And again, This makes sense, right? Dr. Newsom, but now you guys are seeing a theme, right? Dr. Newsom just does the best because that's what he does.
And when it comes to your digestive system, because that's where you get the most of, nutrition, you definitely want it to be amazing.
The top notch.
Yep. And this is like 10 types of active digestive enzymes to enhance your digestion of proteins,
fats, and carbs, as well as pineapple proteolytic enzyme and papaya proteolytic enzyme.
Proteolytic.
Proteolytic. It sounds like an era of dinosaurs, doesn't it?
Yeah, proteolytic.
This dinosaur was found in the proteolytic era.
I just like saying proteolytic.
Yeah, that's actually our new word now. We're just going around saying proteolytic.
Hey, it's got pineapple proteolytic.
We never had to learn proteolytic until we met Dr. Newsom, and now we understand what proteolytic is. It's an enzyme that actually helps you break down protein.
And by the way, and carbs, and you need the enzymes to break down the proteins and carbs and the stuff that you need, because that's how you get your nutrition.
Right, and
So
this one has like 10, right?
Yes.
10 of types of active digestive enzymes.
Active, there's the key.
Yeah, they're not sleepy. They're not sleepy enzymes.
No.
They're not just like, well, okay. No, they're active. They're running around.
10 types of active digestive enzymes.
So you want to go to www.drnewsom.com, look for Super Digest that my lovely model wife assistant is holding.
And by the way, the products we share, it's because we take them.
We're using them.
Because we love what it does for our bodies. It's really good. So you guys definitely, oh my gosh,
digestion is crucial to your health, and that's why Dr. Newsom has created this Super Digest.
If you have issues with your digestive system, you're going to want Super Digest.
That's right.
Yep. Super Digest.
We're back.
We're back.
Yep.
You got
one for this guy. So we are back.
First.
I did. But to be fair, I'm the one that's got my finger on the button for the timer. So I'm like, I got it. So we're back. And I wish people could see what we talk about during break.
It's amazing conversation.
There's so much said.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how often we're like, oh, we got to talk about that too. But anyways, so we'll talk about the stuff we're talking about on break. When we're going on break, so you're from the pharmaceutical world.
Yes.
And I've had people reach out to me that were concerned about the fact that you come from big pharma, and you should know that a lot of our audience are the type of person that are like us, option C people, where we research everything, we look into everything before we do it. It's just,
and we look for ways to do things naturally.
It's the right way. Yeah, it's the right way to live life.
Yeah.
And so it was brought to our attention, hey, she comes from big pharmaceuticals, but that actually puts you in a unique position, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I don't come from there. I worked there for years, but
that's a great distinction. Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually taught, I even did as an adjunct professor for CME for residents at Johns Hopkins. I worked in universities. I worked with the government and research. I just happened to go into that because I was speaking on women in depression, and it was one of those things that naturally happened. And I was really resistant to it, to be honest, because I did not want to be part of that. I was raised, my mother's Cherokee and Choctaw Indian, and I was raised with natural things. They hardly ever brought us to a doctor. And when they gave us a diagnosis, like when I got Lyme disease, my parents didn't even buy into that. Like, they were like, we don't need to listen to doctors. This is what we need to do. But my path did go that way for a while, and they were very nice to me, like the companies, the people I worked with. But there reached a point in my life where I couldn't sleep. And I was like, this is not what I'm supposed to do. There were things because of side effects and different things that I felt like people didn't know that I knew, because the more I moved up, the more I started being in the inside and understanding things. I want people to know there's a lot of good people in those companies. They're not all bad, but my path definitely was understanding all of that, and then figuring out, how do we get rid of side effects from different things? How do we provide solutions instead of getting sick and giving people pills and drugs? Like, how do we keep people better? And through that, I really feel like it positioned me to be able to understand how to help people that do have side effects or do have injuries from things that are in the pharmaceutical industry. Because as many solutions as they provide, there's also some negative, as you guys know. And so that is part of my life. It is part of my career, but it's helped me to be where I am so I can help more people. And
I love, you said something really, really profound right there. And I just I want to zero in on that.
Zero in.
But you said that the people in the pharmaceutical industry, and I love that you brought this up. It's not like, I always tell people this about doctors as well. it's not as though doctors are all kind of converging in this dark room in the back and wringing their hands together and wah,
just some.
Yeah, right. To your point, it is just some higher up, and you're 100% right. The people that work in the pharmaceutical industry at different capacities, scientists or marketers or whatever, they're good people. They a lot of them feel like they're doing the right things. It's always a retrospect thing.
Yeah. And I think also there's just some people like yourself. You work there to the level of height that most haven't. Right. So you got to see all the ins and outs, all the good and bad. And by doing so, it allowed you to go, so how can I do the same thing without the damage?
Yeah.
That's exactly what my thought process is how do I, and because I had gone through things with Lyme disease and cancer that I had side effects from medication and stuff, I didn't want to live that life the rest of my life. I didn't want my children to be on drugs the rest of their life. My choice was, how do we stay well? How do we naturally really help our bodies be the best they can be and get rid of any past side effects? Because unfortunately, some side effects from drugs and different things last forever, right? Not forever, they can. For me, my goal was to go in and get rid of those things and protect the DNA, protect the cells. And really my goal was to reverse aging, to help to make products that would clean the cells and make them beautiful and make them operate in a way that they should, and then get rid of the bad cells. And I think if I wouldn't have worked in the pharmaceutical industry, because I didn't go to school to be a scientist. I went to school, I got a master's of science. I really wanted to teach at a university. Before that, I wanted to be an artist. My mom's a musician. My mom was like, you're not going to be an artist or a musician because you'll never make money. And so I did this other route, but I never, I majored in psychology and counseling in those areas and neurotransmission, which is, has benefited us with Zero In. But I never knew I was going to end up being the scientist, but I'm not exaggerating about this. I was strategically placed in positions I could never have dreamed of. For example, I ended up being one of the youngest research directors of NIMH, which is part of NIH, for seriously persistently mentally ill people. I didn't even try to really get that position. It's things fell in my lap. And I honestly believe it was so I could come up with natural solutions to help people. And I couldn't have planned it even if I would have wanted to. And
exactly.
No, that speaks volumes. I believe that very thing, because I think if you had checked in with Lourdes and I before Lourdes had cancer, our trajectory was very clearly mapped out in our minds. Lourdes was going to be this big A-list actress. I was going to, start my writing directing career. From all that, we were going to do, like, we had it all mapped out.
And it's interesting because it's like you go, no, this is how I'm going to do it.
This is it.
And then God steps in and is like, well, this is how you're going to do it.
Yeah.
Because it really was. It's like, I had a holding deal with CBS.
Right.
I was put on the ballot to be considered to be a nominee for an Emmy Award on one of my roles. It was like, everything was great. And during that time, I just kept saying, God, there's something I have to do. And I can't put my finger on it, but I just know it has to do with being a difference in the world. And I can't put my finger on it.
Yep.
And I did drive him a little nutty for a long time. I got to figure this out. It's nagging at me. And then I got diagnosed. And I'm like, that's it. But it was interesting because I wouldn't have known about documenting, picking up a camera, recording,
you're right.
any of those things if it wasn't because I was already in the industry. I wouldn't have known any of that.
It was weird because I had to wind up filming Lourdes through this journey. I was the cameraman a lot, but because I had this background of film school and learning certain things about, lighting, and which it was not what I had intended to put these skills to use for. But that was it. That was given to us.
I think that I think God puts us in the place we need to be to get to the extent that we need to go. Yeah. And I think that's why you were in the position you were put in each one, because of the stuff. In fact, I would love to, because even zero in, he's like, I want to zero in on it.
Yeah.
It's so great. Now what got you to create Zero In? I don't want to go too far because I know there's stuff that we want to talk about, but I love this stuff.
I've worked on a lot of nootropics. I love it too, by the way. I take one every morning, and it's helping the body increase by supporting through L-theanine, pine bark, velvet bean, and the other ingredients. It's helping produce this dopamine and norepinephrine and serotonin. because I see all these people that are on anxiety medicine or SSRIs for depression, or ADHD patients that are on medication for the rest of their life. And I have a family that's had Alzheimer's, dementia, and Parkinson's. And so I really wanted to produce, if you look at Restore and Zero In, those two products have ingredients that are naturally known to basically help the body fend off those types of things, and even are known in certain situations to help regenerate or repair certain areas. So I used ingredients, even though I can't claim that the product does that. We've helped so many people and we have so many case studies. Clayton has ADHD. You know, my son is extremely hyper, and I wanted a way that people could focus. And this is going to be a kind of funny story too, because I was at Pfizer when Viagra was launched. This was a product that was for men, right? So I wanted to make this combination product that could help people perform, whether it was a female or male, and help women as they were going through menopause in different stages. Because a lot of times people will get married, the husband can take Viagra, but what about the wife? Because it doesn't work with women. So that particular product, even though we don't advertise it for those things, I'm just being very candid. You know, I feel like marriage has lots of different dimensions, and I think God wants us to enjoy, you know, different areas. So that product was made for women, and I know it works a lot for men, but for women, another thing for me is when you have babies, your attention turns to those kids, and you're so tired. Your husband goes to work in a lot of situations. You know, mine, I worked, but I have a sister that stayed home. You're so tired, whether you're working or staying home. And I wanted people to have energy. I didn't want them to be depressed. I didn't want them to be anxious. I wanted to help with dementia and Alzheimer's. So I made those formulas to really help support that in individuals. It was really important to me because I feel like mental and emotional health, psychological health are equally important as physical health. Like people that suffer from depression and anxiety and ADHD, it's almost as bad in some aspects as someone that has cancer, only it doesn't go away. Just like cancer, once you have it, is in there somewhere. You have to constantly help your body. And those two particular formulas, I really wanted to focus, even though they do a lot of other things, I wanted to focus on those areas.
Nice. So with Zero In, it's for someone who's got like dementia or Alzheimer's or any of those kind of neurological issues. Zero In would be one of the good things to do with it, along with what you said, the Restore.
Well,
right?
and then
Which I love.
Yeah, and the more we've looked into it, recently, because we're dealing with this on a personal level, we're learning more and more that the consensus is that you don't have to have dementia when you get older. You don't have to have Alzheimer's when you get older. This is just a lifetime of putting the wrong stuff in our body. And I think,
an exposure.
Yeah,
I mean, we're exposed to so much stuff.
It is to heavy metals, but another thing is a lot of the medication people are on actually cause that. And if you look at the side effect profiles, it shows that. And I'll tell you what, I did this project with a bunch of the insurance companies where we looked at elderly and how many medications they were on and what the adverse events were. And it was like the adverse events and the side effects were worse than the actual issue they were treating. It was horrible what was happening.
Yeah.
And because I had a grandmother with Alzheimer's, I'm like, I'm so mad about this. I just want to fix it, knowing that I probably couldn't solve it for her because she was so far along, and she was, I think, 98, but wanting to solve it for my parents and me and my kids. And I think it's amazing that now we know as scientists that Alzheimer's does not have to occur naturally, that you can stop it. And then one more thing, I'm working on a toothpaste, which I don't know when we'll be able to launch it, but a lot of the studies are showing when they do autopsies of patients with Alzheimer's, that there's parasites and fungus in the brain. And so I've designed a toothpaste that gets rid of parasites and fungus in the gums, because your gums go, directly to the brain and your sinuses and everything. And so for me, this is definitely a focus. Mental health, that my master's and my first PhD, I focused on it, and it's really important to me. I think people deserve to be happy. I really do.
Oh, I totally agree with that. That's awesome. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, it's so I'm gonna have to get that one too. I'm like, I want it all. But I love that.
You
so
need Relive Greens, Lourdes. Are you taking Relive Greens?
Yes, I got Relive.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Because that's what I took. That's basically when I had the brain tumor. Okay.
Yes, I take this every day. And I even have the natural barrier. I got them all. I couldn't help myself.
Have you done Give Me Back My
I
Youth?
love the taste, by the way, of Give Me
Can
Back
you
My
believe
Youth.
it? Because
It's
I have
good.
so many friends. So I have this really good friend named Mimi Coleman, and she said, Christina, I'm always trying to take collagen and it tastes horrible. And I'm like, I need to fix that. And then I got to tell you, so my skin, I actually have a very thin face. But I used to have really like cheeks like this. And I have not, this is not filler. Like I started doing Give Me Back My Youth and noticed a huge difference in my face. We have tons of people now. So I use it on my face and I take it. So you got to try it with the Restore and Relive Greens and Give Me Back My Youth on your face, Lourdes, if you have time.
Do you put them all together at the same time?
I do. I do.
Okay.
I will put them all together and I make a mask and then I put it on there. Now Restore sometimes, like last night, I left Restore on all night. But I think that's what's awesome about the products. You know, we have a skincare brand coming out in, I think, the end of September. It's called Ella Pure. But every single thing I do, I'm focusing on detoxing, eradicating, and then optimizing. And I really think God wants us to be beautiful. I think He wants us to be happy. I think He wants us to be healthy. And I think He wants us to pay attention to what He's made naturally. That's what I think.
I love that. And that's been our mantra all along. We do have to take another break. So this will be the last one.
The last break.
The last one. And then we'll be able to just talk to our blue face. So we are going to take a quick break. But I love what you just said, because Lourdes and I have said again and again and again, God gave us these temples. But what people don't realize a lot of times, He didn't just give it. It's not like a rich parents gave their kid a sports car for their 15th birthday and said, go nuts, kid, knock yourself out. It's more like, I gave you this vehicle for life. Yeah. Take care of this vehicle. And I think a lot of people will omit that last part. So we're going to come right back. I heard a rumor that you sing to your stuff, and I'm just going to leave that sit, and then we're going to come back, and I want to know more about that.
Okay, thank you.
Dr. Newsom's Inflamagon.
It's powerful anti-inflammatory botanical formula.
So this bad boy's got curcumin, and he gets that curcumin from organic turmeric root.
Yes, which is important. We want organic. And freeze-dried frankincense oil.
Freeze-dried frankincense oil is boswellic acid, actually. Boswellic acid.
I love these words.
I know. Our vocabulary has been so expanded since we started working with Dr. Newsom. Yes. And that's boswellic acid is important because it's one of the things that help you. It actually helps with inflammation, but it also is an inhibitor for tumors.
Yeah.
So
so why not prevent or get rid of if you have one of those things or you don't know you have it yet?
Yeah, right. And why just jump ahead of it? Because this formula is bound to Dr. Newsom's unique fulvic acid and humic acid.
Which, by the way, those two minerals that you really do need if you want to stay healthy. And it gives maximum absorption and anti-inflammatory action. You're likely dealing with inflammation. Yes, because most people don't realize that if you end up with certain pains and aches, that's inflammation. Inflammation causes aches and pains to let you know there's an issue. And prolonged inflammation is really what causes these chronic illnesses, up to and including cancer. So we take this as well, and it's amazing. In fact, real quick tidbit, even as a thin person, I always had this little pouch, but since I've been taking this, I'm like, I must have had inflammation because that little pouch is gone. Goodbye pouch, no more punch. So you want to go to www.drnewsom.com, get that anti-inflammatory formula of his in Inflamagon. I love the name Inflamagon. Like it's gone. Inflamagon. Inflam is gone. We love it. I'll let that one slide. We love it. We know that you love it too, because look, inflammation is something that you really want to work out of your system right now. Yeah, like if you want to avoid health issues, when you have too much inflammation just creates, and especially if it's consistently going on, right, it causes diseases, it causes illnesses. Who wants to be sick? And you can trust Inflamagon because it comes from Dr. Newsom, and we trust it. We trust it, and we love it. And we take this sucker daily. Love it. We like to prevent.
We're back. Hey, we're back. So she took it this time.
That's right,
Christina. So we are back. I just wanted to. You have an interesting structure with your company, and we ask a lot of people, or we let people know about this company, but they always ask the same question out of the gates: what is this? Some sort of an MLM? And it's not, though.
No, and I don't actually own the company. Clayton or a company Clayton owns, I think, owns it. I own the products though, and I license them to Root. And I've been in one MLM company and didn't care for it. The rest of my career has been either as a CEO or in pharmaceutical, and I didn't want to go into an MLM company. So this is an affiliate model that's really built around influencers. And my understanding is it's a combination of like Amazon Prime and Instagram and different things where you're rewarded by not buying the products, but by referring people. That's my understanding. I'm really not the business person. I'm the scientist, but no, I didn't want to be in an MLM company because so many of them, I'm not against them. It's just that so many of them are set up, and I think people buy stuff and they maybe don't need it. Do you know what I mean? That's not what I wanted.
I know exactly what you mean, because like we've seen the MLM model as well, and I've said to many people who approach me, because I have got that outgoing personality, and they think, hey, he's the guy, and I go, no, I won't do that, because I'm not gonna. I want to naturally tell people what works for me and what I'm doing. I don't want it to be like I have to hit a certain quota or anything weird like that.
Well, I love the fact that Root Brands gives you the highest quality natural ingredients, health products that actually you see. I mean, we see and feel the results, not just with ourselves, but with others that we have shared, that they even shared with us. And I like the fact that while they're sharing, whether they use it or not, as others use it to improve their health, there is a kickback to that. And that's in any affiliate, which most even doctors are in, because affiliates actually just helps to, and in fact, I like the fact that you don't even take profit from it. You just put it right back into making what you're making and getting, in fact, there was one person who didn't know how they were going to do it. And just by going in and sharing, they are able to purchase themselves the products without having to worry about their financial, circumstance.
Yeah, that was important to me. That was really important to me, that there could be a model where if they couldn't afford it, then they could refer people. They didn't have to buy it, but then they could buy it, right? Because I do understand that not everyone can afford things. And it was really important to me to be able to provide this to everyone that we could throughout the world. And I think I think 80%, 90% are customers. And they have some people that are building by just referring, but the model is not an MLM. No.
Yeah, I didn't think so either. I was like, no, this doesn't look like an MLM to me.
No, for sure. And what I like about it is the idea that it's more important. What I get from you and from your amazing husband Clay is that it's more important that this good stuff gets out there, and we start, kind of making a U-turn on the health that's happening in America or around the world, really, where we can bring ourselves back to health versus what we've been dealing with lately. And I think I love that Root Brands. It seems to me it's more important for them to get this product out to people so that people can start getting better than how much money can we make on this. And I love that about this company.
Yeah, I remember when I wasn't at Root when they launched the company, that they had my products, and the second product, Restore, everywhere I went to make the product, they said, we can't produce it. It's too expensive to make. It's too concentrated. And so finally I found a place that I could work in, that I could produce it there, and we could make it for other people, because there's so many steps. Like I have to design the product, I have to source it, I have to make it, we have to test it. It's a long process. And Clay was like, this is too expensive. We can't afford it to make it. And I said, well, then we have to figure it out. And he said, we can't. And I said, well, then I'm not going to be here. And he goes, well, then we've got to figure it out. And Clayton really did want to provide it for everyone, but you still have to run a business. And that was really our main concern is, will we even have the margins to run the business? Because, it was about being able to provide this. And he definitely was behind that. I don't think anyone else would have supported me in this way other than Clay. And I mean that. It was a perfect partnership.
And I can see that. Yeah, I see that.
We're so different. People are always like, you guys don't ever have the same opinion on anything. And I said, isn't that amazing?
Yeah, right. That's great. That's perfect.
That sounds
like it's somebody else we know.
He's always the one I had to bring down a couple notches because you go.
No, we're Scully and Mulder. From the X-Files. Although Lourdes is Mulder and I'm Scully. I was always the skeptic. I was always the one that said, I don't know.
Yeah,
that doesn't seem right. And then she's the one that's like, no, it will work. And then I'm happy to report that she's often the right one. I'm
often.
I meant always. I was wrong.
Exactly what you meant.
I was wrong to have said what I said. I take it back. I'm always right.
But no, I think that always compliments a person, and I think that's why we've been together for so long.
It's true.
It's like,
it's true.
For the love of Pete, I look back. I'm like, man, we used to be so young, Right. And we still are.
I was going to say, you still are.
Yeah. Until I see pictures before, and I'm like, that's why I was always being carded.
Yeah. A little more gray on the sides of the head, but other than that, I'm just gonna let that go.
So with the root brands, which by the way, if for those who do want to get on it, oh my gosh, you should immediately get on it. You can go to therootbrands.com/create option C, as you see there on the screen. We're going to talk more about root brands. You guys really got to understand the impact it does in your life. In order to really achieve things in your life, you have to feel 100%. And if you're not, if you're always tired or you have these aches and pains, it's hard to really do anything. You just want to rest. And that's why I like about Zero N. It's funny because I was always hearing about everybody taking like 2 Zero N's, and I'm always taking 1. I will continue to take 1 because I took a second one and I was up for like 25, 26 hours.
Yeah.
That's me, Lourdes. I can't, everyone's like, Clinton takes 3 or 4. I'm like, I'm sorry. I cannot. I take 1 in the morning. I have taken 2 before, but the issue is I could work until 2 in the morning. And actually, I've lost my voice this week. And part of the reason is I've stayed up every night. I've stayed up till work till like 2 in the morning because I took one day a couple of the Zero N, and like for 2 days, I could work, the whole time. So everybody's body's different. And I think it just helps me. It helps me focus. It helps me get stuff done. But I'm not like Clay. I can't go to sleep at 8 hours later after I take a Zero N.
Yeah, that's me. I was awake. I mean, and you're right. It's not like I was awake and had the jitters like caffeine. Not at all. It was just
not at all.
I was awake.
Feel normal. You feel normal.
Yeah, you have a normal. You just not tired.
You're just not feeling tired.
I could literally get so much done.
I know I kind of put you in the corner before we went on break when I asked about you singing to your products.
Yes.
So you can say right now it's not true, and I'll leave it alone. But I feel like that's probably true. You probably have sung to your products.
It's true. Who told you that?
I won't reveal my source, but I thought it was amazing.
I loved it.
I thought it was amazing that you did.
Yes, because even that is an energy.
Yes.
Everything. It's so funny. I always tell people that it's like, even when it comes, you think of God, and it's not like he's in this flesh. He's energy. He's the source who created everything. And so, of course, if we're made in his image, we have that. And when we're singing, we're creating that energy as well. I love
what kind of music is what I was curious about? It certainly isn't like Metallica or thrash music.
No. My mom's a musician, and she was the pianist and the choir director in church when I was raised. We used to have to sit in the front row every Sunday. we were in church 4 times a week. My mom had us there, and then we had this Bible study at the table every morning, and my mom would sing to us. So but my grandmother Rahm's favorite song was Amazing Grace. I'm not going to cry on your show, so I won't. But I sing.
We don't want that.
I sing Amazing Grace, another song, Galway Bay, which is one of our family songs. It Only Takes a Spark, which is a song I learned at church camp. And then there's like 3 other ones that I usually use to sing. Yeah. So
I love that.
Yeah.
One of Lourdes gets messages sometimes, and it's random. She doesn't have control over who the message is for or why she has to give the message. But she got a message once when I was in the shower, getting ready for work.
Oh yeah.
And the thing about Lourdes is if she doesn't deliver the message, she gets exhausted. Until the message is delivered, and then it's like a burden is lifted off her, for lack of a better way of describing it. So when I stepped out of the shower, she told me, "I've got a message for you," and I was like, "Oh, finally!"
I always end up with messages for other people.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so I'm like, "Give it to me," And her message was that everything is an energy, and your writing is an energy. And she said,
Yeah, it was like the pen to the paper, even that's an energy.
That's an energy. So she said, because I'm a writer director, my background. When I'm writing, it's my focus has to be on what that energy is that I'm putting down on paper, and that's how. Because it was timely, because I was kind of experiencing some writer's block. I was feeling really frustrated about a project that I was working on because I wasn't getting the answers that I wanted. I was trying to force it. I wasn't conscious of the energy into it, and so I absolutely loved when I heard that you sang to your formulas, because I feel like you're supplying an energy to it, and I think it's a beautiful, amazing thing.
Yeah.
So that's why I brought it up.
I don't remember who I've told that. I usually don't talk about it, but I always do. In fact, singing makes me it just makes me be able to get things done. Most of my formulas are made while I'm sleeping, but when I'm making them in a lab or actually creating, because you have to do all the steps that go in. So there's the ingredients, the sourcing, but then you actually have to do the utility behind it. Like, how are you making it? What steps do you take? And some of those products that have over 100 steps involved. So it's for me, that just helps me relax, and probably because both of my grandmothers and my great grandmother were the pianist at church, and my mom. And then they sang and everything. And so I think, that's just embedded in my memory, and that's what helps me be able to produce them.
I love that.
That's amazing.
So do we ever mention how, when you do get the sourcing of your products, because I know we talked about the zero part, but just in general, you're sourcing, like, because you can get even supplements. You can get supplements, and doesn't mean the ingredients are great. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I do what's called GMO testing of the ingredients of the seed or the plant or the root, and then I do DNA, basically GMO and sequencing to look at the parents of the plants on as many ingredients, almost all the ingredients that I work on, and that's why I don't just like pick. I call down the street and get turmeric curcumin. I get it from a source where I know. I try to do gluten-free, wheat-free, like even the relive greens. That's why they haven't sprouted. So they're, it's gluten-free, wheat-free. Most of my products are vegan. The collagen and colostrum aren't. Most of the products, but it's cruelty-free. Like, I have to tell you, even with the collagen and colostrum, how the cows are treated and how they do it. There's a program that you can find where, and I only found one source, let me just say that was able to do it the way I wanted it, so that the animals were treated in the right way during the whole process. And growing up on a farm, of course, we had to sometimes kill animals because you eat them or you send them, to other people for food. But I was raised in a home where you treat animals with respect, with love, like God would want us to, so that was really important to me. All those steps were really important to me in every product. I can't even tell you the time that goes into it, because I know that people are taking it, and there's so many, like, you look at, and this is a different bottle that we're going to launch later that's called Alcohol Cleanse Support, but you look at how I do everything. I don't add fillers. That's why you can get the relive greens, but if you ordered it any other place, it would be a huge tub, right? And the relive greens, by the way, have tons of protein and fiber and omegas and aminos in those greens. And if you ask me, why isn't that on the label? Because it's a proprietary blend, and it's in the ingredients that I produced. It even has quercetin and NAD and everything in those green leaves, and the way that I sourced it, and then the way that I made it. Not to get too much into the complicated process, but yeah, it's not, you can go buy something at the store and it may be worse for you than not taking something, right? So it was really important.
Right.
Yeah, it really, because of all the fillers and stuff they put in it. I can't tell you how many people have tried to get me to work with them, and they did not care about the product. They just wanted to make money. And that's just not going to be my life. That's not my legacy.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally agree with that. It's because that's why I get when people say, "Oh, I'm trying this one that's kind of similar to yours." I'm like, I don't think so. But I think it's because of that. You're 100% not just formulating, but you're in every step, making sure it's done, so that when they're taking it, there is no toxins, there is no synthetics. It's natural, 100% healthy for you. Absolutely. And that's how it should be.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so I actually had a question. I know that you worked in the pharmaceutical industry, and you've got this now. Are you concerned at all about repercussions from the pharmaceutical industry? Because you hear these horror stories, and I would be concerned, I think, if I was in your position.
Yeah, I left the industry in 2009 to be the CEO of a healthcare company. I made the mistake of making a comment in Washington, D.C. when I was speaking for a bunch of the politicians and Senate and Congress. I made the mistake of saying, I wouldn't have done that surgery on my dog, let alone a human being. We have no results, and I don't understand it. And then I had so much repercussions. There was a legal lawsuit that was supposedly about me being a CEO, but it was really about the fact that your medical device companies make so much money, and your pharmaceutical companies do. I have not had repercussions, and I think it's because. And if you ask if I'm concerned, I am. But from my perspective, I'm very clear with people. I'm not against pharmaceutical. I'm not against medical device companies. I'm against them lying to people, right? I'm against the whole truth not coming out. There's plenty of good people in those industries that feel the same way. They don't have the luxury of saying it, but I signed heavy NDAs, and we're in 2022. I personally, like, my dream, my mission, my vision includes pharmaceuticals, because I really want to create at some point in my life, or be a part of a company that is continuously telling the truth, that is continuously getting the information out there and letting people know. And they do that now by the side effect sheet and the package insert. Like, Lourdes, you read that. The problem is most people are not educated enough in that area of life to read that or understand that. So I really want to create something that explains that to people honestly and in transparency. And that's one of my goals. It may not happen until I'm 90 years old, but that's one of my goals. They may not like me, but I will say this: I've got friends that are still very high in those companies, and some people share my same attitude, but they can't. You got to be careful how you say it. And I feel like these products, like, if you ask me, can these be used with pharmaceuticals or without? Here's my answer. When I made them, it was really important that it would help get rid of side effects from medication, because 70% of the people that die in an emergency room are not from the actual reason they went in. It's adverse events from different medication. And your elderly population is especially prone to that, because an average elderly person's on 14 to 17 meds, and they'll slip and fall, or they'll lose their memory because of those. And so my mission is to help get rid of the side effects of those. So if people are still going to take the 14 to 17 medications, they need to be on these products to help eradicate, detox, and supplement the good cells, because there's so many other things that go along with the medication. I can't control people. I can't make decisions for them. So for me, my role is to serve and to show people what they can do regardless of their decision, knowing that some people are going to still take the 14, pills a day that are pharmaceutical. I wish they wouldn't, but it's just how it works out, and I can't control that.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. At least if they have something for those that choose to, because I really believe that those that are choosing to, I think once you feel good, you don't see the point to, and then they'll continue on the healthy route. But I think you have to mentally be healthy to see that and feel that. And I think when we're just bombarded with so many drugs, that it really is hard to think straight.
Yes, well, I agree with that.
We have one of our doctors who's in Slovenia. Her mother-in-law was like on 17 medications. She was diagnosed with schizophrenia, I think, and had been on it for like years, just like 14, 15, 16 years. And she was able to wean her gradually off and put her on these products, and she's perfect. She's fine. And then they realized that a lot of the hallucinations and things that were happening were actually from the medication. And so, for me, that's my hope for everyone. I just want people to be healthy, and I want them to be happy, and they deserve that. We deserve that.
Oh, I totally
love
agree.
that. Yeah.
And I
think
love
we're meant to be. I think you're right. I think you nailed it.
But I love the fact that they took their mom and they weaned her off as they were putting these products in her system, that she actually got rid of the thing that caused it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think most of that is, there has been, like, even when I look at, because I have friends that have never in their life been vaccinated. And then, of course, most people I know have.
Sure.
And I don't mean like the present
Stuff.
yeah, but I mean like as childhood stuff.
Right.
And it's funny because those that I've met that have never been vaccinated as children, they've had everything and their immune system is amazing, and they aren't even on any medications. They don't get sick. And I'm like, what? And then I have others who, as they got older, they had high blood pressure and cancer, and like the list goes on, and diabetes. But it's funny. I'm going, I wonder if they ever done a study from adults that were vaccinated as children to adults who weren't.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if there's a study. It would be interesting to see that because of what I've been meeting. I'm like, darn it, I was totally vaccinated as a child.
It's really frustrating to me because not only are there not those studies, really, there's not a study that shows someone that's had, 30 vaccines and what are the combination of the results of getting all of those. And the reason for that is who's going to pay for that, right? Who's going to pay for that study?
That's
I
fair.
don't think pharmaceutical companies are going to do it, because then which vaccine caused that? And the truth is, it's like everything in life, though, this cumulative effect that's happening and that has occurred, it's just not healthy for people. You've at least got to eradicate the heavy metals out of the body that shouldn't be there. And that's how I feel. That's your least, like, dude, let's do that first, right? And then let's like supplement the rest of the body. And let's pray a lot and just hope that we can help people throughout the world. That's really where I am every day.
I love that. I love that's where you are, and I think that's where everybody needs to be. So I know your time is valuable, and we've taken a big chunk of your day. I apologize.
Mine's not any more valuable than yours, but I will tell you they keep walking in because I had a 1:30, but I've really enjoyed being on this.
Well, we've loved having you on, and we actually want you on again as soon as we possibly can. So
yeah, well, because I know you got a crazy schedule, so hope we can get you on again because there's so much to go into. I love your life. I love your story. You're an extraordinary woman. It's so. I'm so like beyond excited that you're on our show. And everyone watching. She
couldn't sleep last night, and that wasn't because of the 0 in. She just couldn't sleep because she knew we were going to be
I was excited. Yeah, I was so excited.
I'm so excited. I through Shauna and Jill, I have become even more excited. And then last night, like I said, Clay turned on one of your episodes, and that was like, I'm like, really? That's awesome. but I'm probably like you all. I met a lot of famous people throughout my life. My ex-husband played professional football, so I've been exposed to a lot of different things. And what I really love is meeting good people, and you two are really good, and you follow the same principles and values and morals I do. So thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, reciprocates. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for coming on.
And for those, you guys go on to therootbrands.com/create option C, get on these products. I'm telling you, just like many who got on it are beyond excited
because
the Trinity. The Trinity. The Trinity is a 3. I mean, there's other stuff you'll see on there that you'll probably want. Like,
no, but I tell people the Trinity is like the foundation, and
I totally agree.
It's a solid foundation.
So thank you so much, Dr. Christina. We are so excited that you were on our show, and can't wait to have you on again because I know that this isn't the end here. I think there's more and more.
We might get obsessed. We might just show up in Tennessee and say, hey, here we are.
I want to see the documentary. That's what I'm excited to see.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. We're definitely.
I'll ask Clay. He leaves for a week next week, so I'm gonna have a lot of free time because Clay takes up a little bit of my time.
Yes, I understand.
Say no more.
So definitely, and then and I did send off Clay the stuff, so on the show and all that, but. Amazing how similar. Really crazy. It's so similar. But thank you so much, guys. I know you guys loved her. Follow her. We're gonna have yes on Instagram, TikTok, and are you on Facebook as well?
Yeah, the TikTok is Dr. Cure the Causes is the verified one, and then Instagram is Dr. Christina Rahm. LinkedIn. We post up there and Twitter under Dr. Christina Rahm. And then the new series, which I'm going to have you on, Lourdes, both of you guys, Under the Red Chandelier. And it's called The Scientific Runway because science should be sexy.
I love that. Yes.
And it's literally about the travel with music, art, fashion, interior design, acting, food, and we're interviewing people, and we want people that have tried the products and to see how they're doing. So that's kind of how I met Post Malone. Anyway, I
love it.
I can't wait to have you guys on.
Oh, I
can't wait to be on.
Can't wait.
Yeah,
oh my gosh, this is exciting. Yeah.
I'm gonna show some stuff that you guys have done. Lourdes, I'm gonna show one of your episodes.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. So we're definitely okay. So here, as you see on the link right there, you can find Dr. Christina on the Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and actually there's a website as well.
Facebook and Twitter, and there's a website. Yeah. And the Root Brands has all of that too under their stuff. Yeah.
Perfect. So So when you guys go on the rootbrands.com/create option C, but I want you guys, we have all her stuff up right here, as you can see. Yeah. Click on there, subscribe, follow, and share with everyone. Yes.
Let's get this out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Holy cow. Right. I mean, you now know what we were talking about at the front of the episode.
Isn't she amazing?
She really is.
You can't help but love her. Like, you just want to hug her and hold her and just love her because she is so extraordinary. You can feel her energy of how amazing and loving and caring she is.
Yeah, right. And her story, like I said, so compelling, from where she started to where she went, to how she got there. I mean, such an inspirational story in and of itself, and really such a powerful woman out to make a difference in this world.
And how she's done it.
Yes.
Like, most people go, well, I'm on this supplement and I'm on that supplement and whatever, and they may enjoy the stuff. But I've tried so many things, and especially through my journey, I've tried everything under the sun. And there have been a lot of stuff that helped me. But I got to tell you, to take the supplements that I'm taking, I should say bionutrition, that I'm taking now through Root Brands, because of her creation and the way she's done it, where there is no toxins in her stuff. She's made sure that anything that would be toxin or allergic reaction to anyone is not in there.
Yeah.
So, and she's made sure that she's even checked out through, like, as you guys heard, down to the DNA, and making sure everything is just 100% good. So that when you're putting this into your body, it's doing you good. And I like the fact that you can drink it and you can even make it into a thing and put it on your skin. I mean, seriously.
I also have to say, the thing about her that I find so extraordinary is her business model is more about getting the products out there and getting people on the right track health-wise than it is about, turning a profit as fast as possible. So
because most companies, they really are about let's turn this money around. Let's make what we put in and just really get us rich. Whether the products are 100%, whether there's some stuff that maybe got, like you said, fillers. Most actually products do have fillers.
Yeah.
But like clean slate. The fact that it's this word itself says it. It you start a clean slate. It gets all the stuff that's inside your cells and your tissue that shouldn't be in there, heavy metals and stuff that are really bad for you. Toxins, of any sorts, we're talking about mold, and you go on and on and on. This actually takes care of removing, ripping apart, so it doesn't affect you as it's getting out of your system, while at the same time healing. Wow, that stuff is just amazing. And then never mind the Root brand, the zero in from Root Brand. It's the moment you guys take this, you're gonna like, okay, I love it all, because the one thing is like taking the one thing out and taking care of those things. This is taking care of another, which is also for the brain, heart,
and gets you focused and get you energy.
Yes.
Yep.
So it's taking care of all these things that really help you get at 100%. And I've noticed since I've been on all these, and by the way, I even like the Restore.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what it does. It restores.
As all things on our show, we made a commitment from the very beginning that we're going to try this stuff before we actually say anything one way or the other about it. And we tried this stuff, and I got to say, I feel great on it. Yeah. So,
well, and it's funny because since even with Dr. Newsom's products, which amazing.
Yeah. I was just going to say there's a similarity between how they approach it. And we still
take them. Right. And when we take his products while we're doing this, it just seems like they amplify each other. Like they really take it to another level.
And they both have the same integrity when it comes to only putting the proper stuff inside there, no fillers. Yep. And they both get their messages from God as far as these formulas.
Yes.
And so it's so funny how, wow, it's like we're finding these people because our energy is there too. I think.
And I think God is really guiding us to keep us with exactly what we need. It's like, which is why we have the opportunity to be friends and meet Dr. Newsom and know about his products. And this helps. Actually, I have a few friends that are loving the Flamagon.
Oh, yeah.
They have noticed I mean, I won't say her name, but she was telling me how what she did is she was feeling really good, and she goes, "Let me see if it's just a coincidence." So she stopped a couple of days.
Yep.
And she's like, "No." She went right back on. She goes, "Yeah, this stuff is amazing. It keeps her." She's clear. We're surrounded by toxins, so she's clear that the moment she took that stuff in, that's what she needs to be taking because it keeps her healthy.
Yeah, and if you wanted to try Root Brand, like we showed you at the end of the episode, we'll put the link right here again. It's
it's therootbrands.com/create option C. And your referral code would be create option C.
Right.
And if you go on there, it should be on there, but if it's not, you can place it right in there. It's the way to sign up for free. And once you sign up for free, you go on there and you shop and get these amazing products.
Absolutely. And as always, we do want to thank our good friend, Dr. Newsom. If you haven't gone to drnewsom.com, you really ought to. Right now, there's an exciting promo code that you can use when you go on to drnewsom.com called, and if you just use Lourdes and Chris at checkout, you'll get 15% off your order on drnewsom.com. So that's exciting right there.
Yes. And while you're there, you want to get this book.
You do want to detox for life.
Seriously, it's so important because we are completely surrounded by so many toxins. But to have these recipes and explanation and information on why you want to put these things in your body. I mean, because a lot of people say, well, I want to eat healthier, but I don't know what to make. So while you're taking these things to put in your system, you still want to eat and drink and and still be healthy, right? You don't want to like put something healthy in your body and then eat something that undoes that.
Right. You don't want to work against yourself.
So if you really want to get to the next level and you're using Root Brand, you're getting onto Dr. Newsom's and getting like the gut health and all the stuff that we use that, oh, by the way, amazing.
Yeah.
And you want to have recipes that you go, I want to be able to eat healthy too, like change my whole lifestyle. Here's the book.
Yep.
This book has everything you'll need. So get on there, get this book, get on the Dr. Newsom, subscribe to Dr. Newsom. You'll also get recipes even there
right.
through the email because we get it all the time.
And updates about classes that he's got going on and all that. You can also go on to, if you haven't done so already, the lourdesandchrissshow.com and subscribe to that newsletter as well. We're going to be sending out some messages, and we want a call to action. We're looking for people who have healed themselves naturally. So if you're that person,
reach out to us and let us know what you were going through and what you did.
Yeah, because we're doing a little segment that we're going to try and release once a week, a little bit of a, not quite a full episode, but just a little something to let people know, hey, there's a way and it's inspiration.
Yeah, because you can like do a selfie recording.
Right.
And then you can submit those.
Yep, absolutely. So go on to the lourdesandchrissshow.com, sign up for that newsletter so you know more about that. Check out all the episodes that we've got listed there. Boom, 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 boom. There are some that aren't allowed to be on YouTube for some
weird, crazy
YouTube reasons.
But that being said, also when you go on to the lourdesandchrissshow.com, it's not just episodes or where you can donate, but there's also other pages on there that you have, you see like the Silverette pillow. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You got the stuff that for oxygenated water, right? So the hydrogen water. So there are a lot of stuff there and links that you can go to get products and stuff that we use ourselves that is just to keep you again healthy.
Right, 100%. So we do appreciate those of you that are subscribed. If you haven't followed us on social media, you can do so by just doing this.
Any one of them.
Everywhere.
Anywhere.
And as always, we want to thank you for joining with us every week on the lourdesandchrissshow.com. We do appreciate this. We appreciate you showing up. This is our bliss. This is something that we're certainly doing because we're out to make a difference. We're following through on something that was assigned to us. And by you showing up, you're becoming part of that assignment for us. So thank you. We absolutely love you. And can't wait to see you again in a week.
Yep. See you
Have
next
a blessed week.
Bye.